Hi, my name is Lucy Truman. I'm an organisational psychologist and founder of Truman Change. And there's been a trend, I would say, in the last sort of 5 to 10 years where councils are really starting to invest a lot more in real good quality, qualitative community engagement. It's a shift that I've seen, and it's something that I'm really positive about. So as a psychologist, I believe very passionately in things such as co-production, co-design, building relationships. And we really saw during COVID that when we had to create an awful lot of change and we had to make a lot of things happen very quickly, the councils that had brilliant relationships with their communities were able to pivot and use those and do that well. So community engagement is something that is very important. It's certainly something that we are doing more and more work in. We're getting approached to engage with communities around things like culture strategies, active travel, nature strategies, a wide range of topics. And so I wanted to make this quick video to say why we get approached for this sort of work and what are the 4 things that I think are really important to get right. So the first thing is, because of all of our years of experience in local government, we're very used to working in a politically dynamic environment. And that is really important when you're engaging with the community, that you have that wisdom and that understanding of political sensitivities. What you don't want is people just heading on out onto the high street with a clipboard saying, how many times a week do you want your bin emptied? So you really need to have that understanding if you're going to engage with communities on behalf of local authorities. The second thing is, because of the psychology influence within my business, we are very passionate about really understanding motivations and behaviours. So if we are holding a room full of people for an engagement, we are very aware of whose voice has been heard and whose hasn't, who's holding power, where might there be conflict and difficulties, so that we can navigate that and make sure that we get the diversity of voice that you need. Number 3, boring one, you've got to nail logistics. So you've got to be in the right place at the right time to engage well. And that might mean that you have to go to a knitting club on a Thursday evening, or it might mean that you have to do something at a weekend. I see a lot of organisations assuming if they put on one event at a town hall, people will turn up, and they don't. So there's a lot of legwork goes into making sure that we get the right voices. And the final reason why we're good at it is because we have a policy specialist in our team who can take all of that data and translate it into a policy or a strategy for you, or work with your policy teams to do that. What we don't want to do is come back with a lot of nonsense data that doesn't help you in terms of what you're trying to achieve, but we have the experience to do that. So if that sounds like something you need help with, we know a lot of councils want to do this really well, but sometimes don't have the capacity. And in addition to that, sometimes there is a benefit to it being done by an external independent party, and then do give us a shout.